Wow, what Katt Williams spilled in that interview is mind-blowing. It's gonna stick around in people's minds for ages. The guy's loaded with juicy info and he's not shy about dropping truth bombs. Heads up though, this one's a bit intense, so watch with caution. We're going to dive into some wild stuff that this legendary comedian told the whole world, including some of the shadiest hip-hop stars. In the Club SHAY interview, Katt Williams talked about a scene in the movie Friday After Next. He was against having a scene where his character, Money Mike, gets sexually assaulted in a bathroom because he felt it wasn't right to make a joke out of such a serious issue.
We're trying to make a classic comedy, and this comedy involves a rape. And rape is never funny, no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are.
So, he made sure this scene was taken out of the movie. Williams believed that showing a black man as a victim of intimate assault in a comedy wasn't okay. This move by Williams showed his stance on respecting sensitive topics in film. So, Katt was saying that he and his team give money to the best folks in his line of work to send a message. What kind of message? Well, he mentioned that when a comedian really nails it on stage, all they usually get is some claps, and that's it.
So a lot of times I will utilize ladies to convey a message. If a comedian is doing a great job somewhere in the country, he just did a masterful set, and nobody's gonna pay him. They just clapping. And I know he's broke as shit back there.
Katt thinks that's not enough. So he's got a deal where if he's paid $100,000 to do a show in a city, he'll take $10,000 of that and give it to people who need it. He's all about giving the really good comedians something more meaningful than just a bunch of claps. He wants to help them out for real, you know? Now, Katt Williams talked about a bunch of stuff, including his experiences with Diddy, the famous music mogul. Williams mentioned that he had to turn down invitations to party with Diddy. He said it like this: P. Diddy be wanting to party, and you've got to tell him no. And I did. I got the receipts.
Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
This is like saying he got proof or evidence of what he's claiming. Williams didn't just stop there. He also claimed he turned down $50 million from Diddy, like 4 times. He said it was all about protecting his integrity and staying true to himself. This was part of a broader conversation where Williams touched on some pretty intense topics, like what goes on behind the scenes in the entertainment industry and how some entertainers might have to do things that go against their character to get ahead. Now, these comments from Williams stirred up quite a bit of conversation. People are chatting about it on social media, sharing their thoughts and interpretations. It's one of those statements that adds a new layer to the ongoing narrative about Diddy, especially with recent allegations and lawsuits involving him. It's definitely sparked some interest and got people talking. So Katt Williams wasn't just talking about his own experiences in Hollywood, but he also called out other comedians, including Ricky Smiley. The juicy part? Williams claimed that Smiley was spreading fibs about being supposed to play Money Mike in Friday After Next, the role that Williams ended up playing. Now here's the thing, Williams got pretty heated about this. He was like, hold up, that's not how it went down. He said a whopping 200 black comedians auditioned for that Money Mike role, and he was wondering how Smiley could claim he already had the role locked down. It's a bit like saying you won the race before it even started, right? But wait, there's Smiley's side of the story too. Ricky Smiley, another big name in comedy, didn't just sit back and take it. He came back with his own version on his morning radio show. Smiley was like, no way, I didn't lie about that. He mentioned that the whole pimp angle that Williams brought to Money Mike was a stroke of genius and way funnier than the original idea. Smiley was actually pretty cool about it, saying he liked the Santa Claus role he played and felt it was a great fit for him. It's kind of like being happy you got the second best piece of cake because it still tastes awesome. The whole back and forth between Williams and Smiley isn't just some random gossip. It actually shows us a lot about the comedy world. It's not all laughs and jokes. There's some serious competition and sometimes even a bit of bad blood. It's like peeking behind the curtain and seeing that even comedians have their beefs and disagreements, just like any other job. Here's the kicker. Williams didn't stop at Smiley. Nope, he had a list. He called out other big names like Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, and Kevin Hart. This interview wasn't just a chat. It was Williams unleashing a storm, pointing fingers and calling out what he saw as wrongs in the industry. It's like he was on a mission to set the record straight, or at least his version of it. Katt also talked about Bernie Mac, who was another famous comedian and sadly passed away a while back. Katt Williams was basically saying Bernie Mac was one of the best, kind of like the king of comedy.
Because you shit on Bernie, and I know the truth. You think I'm gonna let you shit on Bernie and then come get me? I'm the next king? Fuck you. Why? Because the whole time Bernie was here, you was acting like you was funnier than him.
Bernie Mac's daughter, Janice McCullough, saw the interview and she had some things to say. She never met Katt Williams herself, but she really liked what he said about her dad. She thought Williams was pretty honest and funny, and she appreciated him giving props to her dad. Janice mentioned how the comedy world isn't always as friendly as people think it is. It's quite competitive and not everybody gets along. Janice seems to respect Katt Williams for his genuine shout out to her dad. She's also doing her own thing to keep Bernie Mac's memory alive, like running a podcast called Bernie's Daughter's Podcast. So yeah, that's pretty much what went down. Everyone's talking about how Katt Williams showed some real love to Bernie Mac in that interview. The dispute between Katt Williams and Cedric the Entertainer over an alleged joke theft has been a hot topic in the comedy world. Williams revisited his accusation during an appearance on the club SHAY with Shannon Sharp on January 3rd, 2024. He claimed that Cedric the Entertainer stole his best joke for the 2000 comedy special, The Original Kings of Comedy. Williams alleged that he performed the joke at the comedy club in 1998, and Cedric, after watching his performance and congratulating him, later used it in his own act. This joke, according to Williams, was about white people traveling to space to get away from black people, a piece he had performed on BET's Comic View and was even part of the show's commercial. Williams expressed his disappointment, especially after giving Cedric a pass for a decade following an apology, only to hear Cedric later on deny the theft. In response, Cedric the Entertainer has consistently denied these allegations. On Instagram, he referred to Williams' claims as revisionist history and defended his career, stating that it can't be reduced to one joke. Cedric emphasized his extensive work in over 40 movies, specials, and other achievements in the industry, underscoring his originality and contributions. He dismissed Williams' tough talk as corny and reaffirmed his stance as a seasoned professional in the comedy industry. Katt Williams got into talking about that incident where Megan Thee Stallion got shot.
Nobody's not going to tell the truth, and the truth has got to be told. In all circumstances, the truth has got to be told. So if you don't want to say she shot her, then you shot her, and that's the end of that.
The whole thing has been a big deal in the news, right? So Williams basically said that someone's not telling the truth in this whole mess. He pointed out that if you're not going to blame Kelsey Harris, Megan's former friend, for the shooting, then it must have been Tory Lanez who did it. He's kind of saying, look, the truth needs to come out no matter what. And it seems like he's hinting that either Tory Lanez or Megan Thee Stallion isn't being completely honest about what went down. Previously, there were some legal documents where Tory Lanez's driver mentioned seeing Kelsey Harris with a gun, but he didn't actually see who shot Megan. And Megan herself has been pretty clear about saying that it wasn't Kelsey who shot her. The whole situation has got a lot of people talking and guessing about what really happened. From his bold statements about Hollywood to his frank discussions on sensitive issues, Williams left no stone unturned. We heard his thoughts on everything from his stance on respect in film to the truth behind comedy industry beefs. But the conversation doesn't end here. What's your take on Williams' revelations? Do you agree with his views on integrity in comedy and Hollywood? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more.